So throughout this course, we actually been using encapsulation, and I didn't actually use the original terms because I didn't want to confuse you. But now let me start to use these terms that you should be aware when building Java applications and also when building code around object-oriented programming. So let me create a new class in here, and in here I'm going to create a class called bank and then account. Now within this bank account, I'm going to have a field called string and then name, so the name that this belongs to. And also let's have a big decimal, and here I'm going to say balance. So this is the balance that someone has in their bank account. And also let's have a boolean and then has overdraft. All right, cool. So in here we have the properties, and you've seen that a class is nothing but a blueprint that allows us then to create multiple instances or the actual real things. So in our case, we want to create a bank account. So here we have the properties, and this is the actual data. And also, if you remember correctly, a class is made up of behaviors. Now the behaviors are just methods that basically act upon these properties in here. So let's have one method, and that is to withdraw money. So here I'm going to say public, and then here I'm going to return a big decimal. So basically the money that they want to withdraw, and I'm going to say withdraw. And if I put this full screen, so let's have the amount, so big decimal and then amount. So this is the amount to withdraw. And inside here, let's say if the balance, and then we're going to subtract the amount in here, dot compare to 0. So big decimal and then 0 in here. And let me have a static import for 0. So if this is greater or equal to 0, then we know that we can basically take some money out. So here, let's just say this dot balance equals to, and then this dot balance, and then dot, and then subtract, and then the amount, just like that. And if you want, depending on the implementation, you can either return maybe the balance or the amount that you want. So in my case, I'm just going to return the amount which was requested, and here we basically deduct from the balance. Then obviously then we can check whether it has an overdraft and whatnot, but for now let me just skip this implementation, and if that's not the case, then I'm going to return 0. So big decimal. So well, actually we could just say 0 because we have the static import in here. So you've learned about static import. So this is a good example on how to use the static import. And to be honest, this is encapsulation. Why is that? Well, we are bundling the object state as well as the behavior in here into one single unit. And this is the process of encapsulation. Similarly, if I show you, so in here, let's just create another class, and we'll come back to this class in a second. So here, new Java class. Let me say shape in here, or actually, let me just rename this to square. And in here, I'm going to say int and then length, and let's have a method to calculate the area. So here, I'm going to say int and then calculate, or actually just area, just like that. And in here, the area will be length and then times and then the length. There we go. So this again is encapsulation. Why? We are bundling the state, the properties or the data, and the methods, the behaviors, together into one single unit. So this is encapsulation. Now obviously here I'm missing getters, setters and whatnot, and this is what I'm going to teach you next, because a lot of people get confused and they think that encapsulation is the process of hiding data, which is not. through encapsulation, we can hide data. Join me on the next one.